Hello and very good evening to all of you. Welcome you to SSB Sure Short Academy YouTube channel and welcome to weekly current affairs session. So ladies and gentlemen, once again we are together to learn what has happened for the last 7 days, and here we will recall what are the important points are there for your examination. Whichever examination you are preparing for, the current affairs is important for all the examination, as you all know. Mostly I will be covering from the defense examination point of view, which will also cover of GD lecturate and interview of your service selection board. And mostly it is more important for those students who are going to appear for SSB in next coming days, because there are so many questions can be asked in interview from the current affairs. Generally the questions are asked like, tell me 3 national news and 3 international news. Tell me 2 sports important news. So that way the questions may be asked in the interview. So let's go once again with this weekly session. Again, ladies and gentlemen, before we proceed ahead, here I'd like to tell you how we are going to cover the topics, then international issues, national affairs, and regional and state affairs. Then I will cover sports, defense, and miscellaneous. Miscellaneous will cover important dates, person, places in news, etc., obituaries, and many more we are going to discuss today. So before we discuss the topics, I would like to tell you what are the courses SSB Sure Short Academy runs. 14-day online SSB class by General Bhakuni sir. Personality development online class by General Bhakuni sir. CDS, NDA, CAPF, and all other defense examination are conducted in the virtual classes. Special online courses for maths, GS, and reasoning separately are also available. If you find that you are weak in particular subject, you can get your seat registered by calling to these following 2 numbers. And we have some offline classes. The renowned SSB course in India are provided in Sure Short Academy for 12 days. Offline CDS and NDA written classes are also there. And to get periodic discount on any course, download our application from Play Store, the SSB Sure Short Academy app. Then first, the international issues. What we are going to discuss today is the recently completed 13th BRIC Summit. What are the important points are there in this BRIC Summit that you have to focus on? First of all, I will repeat that which are the country here in this BRIC Summit, like Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. So this time Prime Minister Narendra Modi chairs 13th BRIC Summit. The theme was intra-BRICS cooperation for continuity, consolidation, and consensus. See, what are the important of this summit? Which number of summit it was? It was 13th BRICS Summit into 2021. Now, what is the theme of this summit? The theme is intra-BRICS cooperation for continuity, consolidation, and consensus. The priorities areas were like reform of multilateral system, counter-terrorism. As we can see, the Afghan crisis in news, and it is a very need of an hour for the world and the United Nations to think about to counter the terrorism in growing regions. Now, the cooperation using digital and technological tools is also one of the important areas which was discussed in 13th BRICS Summit. Then comes the Bitcoin. What is Bitcoin? And in El Salvador. El Salvador is a country which is located in North America continent. Its capital is San Salvador. So ladies and gentlemen, what is Bitcoin? First, you need to understand Bitcoin is a digital currency. So it is digitally transferred from one person to other. So El Salvador became first country to adopt Bitcoin as legal tender. So they will accept the payment in the format of the digital currency, that is the Bitcoin, and they will pay back. Now, El Salvador President Nayib Bukele plans to introduce a law that will make it the world's first sovereign nation to adopt this digital currency, which point as legal tender. This global mandate Bitcoin to be acceptable as a valid payment by all establishments in this country. Next, we will discuss about the solution to pollution. It means the air pollution, how it is being countered throughout the world. See, the world's largest plant designed to suck carbon dioxide out of the air and turning it into rock commenced in its operation in Iceland. So the carbon dioxide will be sucked out from the atmosphere and that will be converted into the rock. And its operation in Iceland, it can suck out of 24,000 tons of carbon dioxide per year. So there is very much need of such technology in India, mostly in the Kanpur and Delhi. Next news is the Comptroller and Auditor General, the CAG, what we say the highest officer of India, or you can say the most important officer in India. That is the Comptroller and Auditor General GC Murmu, elected as chairman of Asian Organization of Supreme Audit Institution for the period from 2024 to 2027. It is going to be very, very important questions for the candidates, those who are going to write NDA and CDS on 14th of November. I'll repeat, this news is very important for you. See, the Comptroller and Auditor General GC Murmu has been elected as the chairman of ASOSAI, the Asian Organization of Supreme Audit Institution, for the period from 2024 to 2027. So he will be the chairman from 2024 to 2027. Now, India will host 16th Assembly for Asian Organization of Supreme Audit Institution in 2024, when the GC Murmu will be the chairman of ASOSAI. The Asian Organization of Supreme Audit Institution was established in the year 1979. So both the points are very, very important. All 3 points are very important for the examination point of view. Very recently, the Panjshir Valley was in news. Why it was in news? Because it was safeguarded by the previous vice president of Afghanistan. Under his leadership, the Panjshir was fighting against Taliban, which was now captured by Taliban. So Afghanistan claimed of capturing Panjshir Valley completely. It is located in Hindu Kush Mountains. It is located in Hindu Kush Mountains, and the entire valley is located along the Panjshir River, which follows all along its length. So what are the important points from here? Which mountain is surrounding Panjshir, or Panjshir Valley is located in Hindu Kush Mountains. Now, which river is flowing along the Panjshir? That is Panjshir River. Now, Panjshir has rich deposits of silver, various types of crystal, including rare earth minerals, and it is also known as the graveyard of the invaders, as no one could succeed to conquer this. Previously, the Panjshir has never been conquered by any of the foreign invaders, including Russia. So it is very, very important. Now I'll repeat what are the points are important. The river on which the Panjshir is situated and the mountains in which the Panjshir is situated, the Hindu Kush Mountains and Panjshir River along the Panjshir Valley. Now, what are the minerals found? That is the silver and the various types of crystal, including rare earth minerals, and it is also the graveyard. Graveyard means the graveyard of the invaders. It means none of the invaders has invaded, none of the foreign countries have invaded Panjshir Valley. Last week also I had discussed about Indo-Afghan relation. As it is a current issue, I will discuss it again. So you would have heard that India held its first official talk with Taliban in Doha, the capital of Qatar. Now, let us go back to the history when there was the birth of Taliban in Afghanistan along in the year 1996. For the first time when Taliban killed the president of Afghanistan, Indian Parliament opposed it very strongly. Then after, what was the result from Taliban? They hijacked one of the plane in 1999. So New Delhi accused a Pakistan-based jihadist group of the hijacking that plane. The plane was taken to Kandahar in Afghanistan and was quickly surrounded by Taliban fighters. So this is a bad experience, the bad relation of India with the Taliban. So next important news is the insurgency-free prosperous Northeast. One step has been taken forward to ensure that the Northeast is insurgency-free. When we talk about insurgency, some kind of militant disturbance is there in Northeast. There are various states who demands the independency. They want freedom from India, but that is impossible. Now let us see what are the important points here. You need not to be the master of the point, master of the topics, but you should at least know that much, which will help you in your lecturate and while answering the question in interview. See, the government of India has signed tripartite peace accord with the state government of Assam and 5 insurgent groups from Karbi Anglong region in Assam and to the center. So the state government, center, and the tribal groups, the Karbi Anglong groups. So this become 3 parties. So we say it the tripartite peace accord. Now, why it was signed? To end decades of violence in the region. Peace accord will grant greater autonomy to Karbi Anglong Autonomous Council and provide protection to the language, culture, and identity of the region and reservation to the Karbi people. Next, the Food Processing Week was in news because the Ministry of Food Processing Industry is celebrating Food Processing Week from September 6th to 12th, 2021. As a part of the celebration of Azadi Ke Amrit Mahotsav to commemorate 75 years of India's independence. So whole year is being celebrated Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. So on this occasion, Ministry of Food Processing Industries celebrated the Food Processing Week from September 6 to September 12. It is also an important point for the defense aspirant. Then India's first bio-brick based building integrated at IIT Hyderabad. So why this bio-bricks? Because to counter the waste, to counter air pollution caused by stubble burning. So these bio-bricks are being used for the first time. Prana portal was also in news. The Union Minister Bhupendra Yadav inaugurates Prana portal for regulation of air pollution in 132 cities across India. Prana stands for Portal for Regulation of Air Pollution in Non-Attainment Cities. This acronym is also important, the Prana, because sometimes this question also comes, which of the following fulfills these acronyms, and the full form of this acronym is. So that is Portal for Regulation of Air Pollution in Non-Attainment Cities. Then the Nipah virus. Of course, we all know the coronavirus, the COVID-19. Then comes the Nipah virus. One case was found in Kerala of Nipah virus, which was saying that the death of a child due to the Nipah virus. Nipah virus is a genetic virus. It is a type of coronavirus only, but transmitted in humans through its natural host, fruits, bat, or through direct contact with infected people or contaminated food. Presently, it lacks any treatment or vaccine, with support care as only primary treatment. So for Nipah virus, there is no such vaccines and treatment available currently in the country. Only support care as any primary treatment can be can only be relied upon. Next, the next Yojana and the topic which was in news is the Bujurgon Ki Baat Desh Ke Saath. So Bujurgon Ki Baat Desh Ke Saath is an initiative from the government. So the cultural minister launches Bujurgon Ki Baat Desh Ke Saath program in New Delhi. What is its aim? Its aim is to enhance the interaction between the youth and elderly people who are 95 years and above and have spent around 18 years in India before independence. So this is also important. Bujurgon Ki Baat Desh Ke Saath. Now comes the Vanyar movement. It is one of the old movement in Tamil Nadu for these people from Vanyar group. They are the Kshatriya. They demands for the reservation, 20% state reservation and 2% in central services. Vanyar are among the largest and most consolidated backward community of Tamil Nadu. So the Vanyar movement was started first in the year 1986. And what is their demand? Their demand is for the reservation, state reservation 20% and 2% in central services. Question may come, what is the demand of Banyar movement and where from it is related? It is related with the community of Tamil Nadu, and their demand is reservation. Then Ayuse Aapke Dwar campaign. Ayuse Aapke Dwar campaign is also very important. The Ayush ministry has launched Ayush Aapke Dwar campaign to distribute medical plant saplings to 75 lakhs household across the country in 1 year. Who is the MD of this? Ayush Aapke Dwar, the main focus is to distribute the medical plant saplings to at least 75 lakh household across the country in 1 year. Now, Suman Sharma, appointed as the MD, Managing Director of Solar Energy Corporation of India. She is from IAS officer from batch 1999. So why this Solar Energy Corporation is important? Because you would have gone through that One World, One Sun, One World, One Grid is an initiative of India to link people with the solar energy and the renewable energy. Then comes the Dugong Conservation Reserve. Again, it is important. It is also related with Tamil Nadu. India's first Dugong Conservation Reserve to be in Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu government declares 500 kilometers of the biodiversity rich waters in the Parkway as India's first Dugong Conservation Reserve. Where? In the Parkway. What is its area? 500 kilometers. 500 kilometers long of the biodiversity rich waters in the Parkway as India's first Dugong Conservation Reserve. Now, the very interesting topic which was in news is the whistling village. You will be surprised to know there is a village named Kong Thong in Meghalaya, in which children will have two names, one name of the song and one their real name. Again, there will be the short song and the long song for the same boy. So how they call their children? By singing a song. So that is why this village is named as Whistling Village. The Ministry of Tourism has nominated Meghalaya as Meghalaya's Kong Thong village, which is known as the Whistling Village, for the World Tourism Organization Best Tourism Village Award. So the Ministry of Tourism has nominated for Best Tourism Village Award to the Kong Thong village of Meghalaya. Why it is important? Again, I repeat, because every child of that village, every person of that village is named after two songs. Two names are there, one for songs and one name. Still, these songs are of two types, short song and long song. Next, you will see the Vatan Prem Yojana. Vatan Prem Yojana is of Gujarat. It launches because what is the main aim of this? Under this scheme, NRI can contribute 60% of the cost of a village level project test will be borne, and the rest will be borne by state government. Now, Vatan Prem Yojana is the biggest campaign for public participation in development work. So the non-resident Indian will contribute 60% of any of the village level government, and the rest will be covered by the state government. So Vatan Prem Yojana, it shows their prem towards the Vatan. Then India's tallest air purifier tower was established in Chandigarh. It was also in news, and it is a very good initiative again to purify the air. See, the Chandigarh gets India's tallest air purifier. It was inaugurated in Union Territory of Chandigarh. Tower has been installed as the initiative of Chandigarh Pollution Control Committee at Transport Chowk Sector 26. What is its intensity? It will clean up to 3.8 crore cubic feet of the surrounding environment for 5 years without any cost. Next comes the president appoints new governors of Tamil Nadu, Uttarakhand, Punjab, and Nagaland. Again, very important for AFCAT point of view and CDS point of view. And even for the NDA students also, those who are NDA aspirant also, to memorize this. See, the President of India, Ramnath Kovind, has appointed new governors of Tamil Nadu, Punjab, Uttarakhand, and Nagaland. Governor of Uttarakhand, Lieutenant General Gurmeet Singh, retired Deputy Chief of Army. Governor of Tamil Nadu, R.N. Ravi, he was the former Nagaland governor. Governor of Punjab, Banwari Lal Purohit. He was the former governor of Tamil Nadu. Governor of Nagaland, Professor Jagdish Mukhi, incumbent governor of Assam. It means he will held the control of Assam government post too. Then let us understand India's biggest insurgency, which is there in Nagaland. To understand this insurgency, just in one slide, I will cover the whole history of this insurgency. But this is very, very important for any of the graduation entries to the armed forces. In interview, you may be asked such insurgencies of the Northeast. See, what is this? The government enters into ceasefire agreement with the National Socialist Council of Nagaland. So there is ceasefire agreement is done. Agreement will be in effect for next 1 year, beginning from September 8, 2021. And more than 200 people of the group, along with their 3 weapons, have surrendered as part of the peace process. Government has already signed a framework agreement with National Socialist Council of Nagaland under Framework Agreement for Naga Peace Accord in 2015. Then it was declared as the India's biggest insurgency. That moment is considered India's longest running insurgency it was. In 1946, Naga National Council, which declared Nagaland an independent state on 14th August 1947. In 1975, Naga National Council agreed to give up violence under Shillong Accord. So the Shillong Accord was signed, and then after they agreed to create any kind of violence in that region after 1975. In 1980, National Socialist Council of Nagaland emerges with demand for Nagalim. That is Greater Nagaland. Nagalim, it means to get power. So they had a demand to get Nagalim. Under Nagalim, what is that? They wanted to have a Greater Nagaland, which comprises all continuous Naga inhabited areas, which includes Nagaland, several districts of Assam, Arunachal Pradesh, and Manipur, and also has a large sect of Myanmar. It is not a single tribe, but an ethnic community that comprises several tribes who live in the state of Nagaland and its neighborhood. So this is all about the India's biggest insurgency. If you go through this once again, it will be there in your memory, and you will be able to speak 2-3 points out of this in any of the topic which is given to you. Then comes an iconic school in Odisha. A very good step is to be taken by the Odisha government. The Odisha government would set up an iconic school at the investment of 100 crore rupees. The school will have a total of 1,000 students, 500 each in class 11th and 12th, drawn from all corners of the state. Students will be expected to crack all India examination school, would be cared with language laboratory, smart classes, mathematics, and high technology computer application. Of course, India is needed such focus for the educational development and educational growth of children. So such initiatives are always welcomed by the people. Now let's move to the sports. The Suhas Yatiraj was in news. He is the first IAS officer to win Paralympic medal. He won silver medal of badminton SL4 category at Tokyo 2021 Paralympic. He lost gold medal match to the top seeded Lucas Mazur of France. He is currently the district magistrate of Noida and became the first ever IAS officer to win a medal at the Paralympic. So Suhas Yatiraj became the first IAS officer to win Paralympic medal, the silver medal, in which sports badminton SL4 category. These 3 points are very important, may come in the examination. Then let's move to the defense. In defense, there are various activities and the exercises had been conducted for last 7 days that we are going to discuss. Now let us discuss the SIMBEX 2021. This is the exercise between Singapore and India, maritime bilateral exercise. The 28th edition of Singapore-India Maritime Bilateral Exercise, SIMBEX, has been concluded. It is an annual bilateral maritime exercise. What kind of question may come? SIMBEX is a military exercise between which of the 2 following countries, that is Singapore and India. So maritime exercise and was hosted by Republic of Singapore Navy in the southern fringe of South China Sea. So SIMBEX, one of the very important news from the defense criteria. Now biennial Osindex maritime warfare exercise. This was conducted between Australian Northern Territory will host the biennial Ausindex AUSINDEX maritime warfare exercise between the Royal Australian and the Indian Navy. The Ausindex maritime warfare exercise is conducted between which of the two countries, Australia and India. Next important point, again creating a history, making a history, that the Tata to be the first private Indian firm to make military aircraft. Cabinet Committee for Security, CCS, the Cabinet Committee for Security has approved the procurement of 56 C-295 MW transport aircraft for Indian Air Force and will make 40 aircraft in India within 10 years. It will make Tata as the first Indian private sector company to make military transport aircraft for Indian Air Force. Now, India and Australian Navy begin fourth edition of Ausindex exercise. Already told you. Now, the emergency landing strip. You might have seen recently in the news on the highway of Rajasthan. For the first time, Indian Air Force had landing on the highway. So it was emergency landing strip practice. You can say the India's first emergency landing strip on highway integrated in Rajasthan. Union Defense Minister Rajnath Singh and Ministry of Road and Transport Nitin Gadkari has inaugurated an emergency landing strip at Gandhava Bhaskar section on National Highway 925 in Badmer, Rajasthan. For Indian Air Force plan, NH 925 has become India's first national highway to be used for emergency landing of Indian Air Force aircraft. Which national highway? NH 925. National Highway 925. Now Simbex. Simbex already discussed. Again, a revision. Now, why it was, I would like to discuss it again because it was the first exercise, bilateral exercise, which was held in the South China Sea, and it is an only exercise without any physical interaction due to COVID-19 pandemic. So Simbex was the only exercise which was conducted without any physical interaction so far due to COVID-19 pandemic, Simbex, between Singapore and India. It was initiated in 1994 and is the India's Navy longest uninterrupted bilateral maritime exercise with any foreign navy. Now, one personality we would like to discuss, Acharya Vinoba Bhave. He's remembered as the great scholar saint. He was the 20th century Gandhian thinker who advocated for non-violence, human rights. He was inspired by Mahatma Gandhi's speech at the Banaras College during the struggle for freedom. He is the best known for the Bhudan movement or bloodless revolution of voluntary land reform movement at the Kushanpalli village in Telangana. Vinoba Bhave was the first international figure to receive the Ramon Magsaysay Award, which is also known as the Nobel Peace Prize of Asia, Ramon Magsaysay Award in 1958, who was awarded Bharat Ratna posthumously in the year 1983. Now, obituary. Former Union Health Secretary Kesav D.C. Raju passed away in Chennai. He was the grandson of former President Dr. Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan. So, Health Secretary Kesav D.C. Raju was the grandson of President Dr. Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan. Former France footballers Jean-Pierre Adams passes away of the age of 73 years. The most painful thing is that he passes away after being in coma for 39 years since 1982. Let's come to the miscellaneous topics. We'll discuss some important days here. The International Day of Charity is being observed on 5th of September to commemorate the death anniversary of Mother Teresa, who had always been engaged in charitable work. It was declared by UN General Assembly in 2012 to 5th September to be celebrated as International Day of Charity. Now, International Day of Clean Air for Blue Sky is observed on September 7. globally to promote and facilitate action to improve air quality. It was held for the first time in 2020, and the theme of 2021 is Healthy Air, Healthy Planet. Remember, themes are very, very important for your examination point of view, especially for AFCAT exam and CDS. They will ask directly what was the theme and what is the theme of International Day of Clean Air for Blue Sky in 2021. That is Healthy Air, Healthy Planet. The next is International Literacy Day, which is observed on September 8 annually across the world to highlight the importance of literacy to individual communities and society. The day was declared by UNESCO on 26 October 1966. During 14th session of UNESCO General Conference, it was observed for the first time in 1967. The International Literacy Day is celebrated on September 8. Next, the International Day to Protect Education from Attack. The International Literacy Day is on 8th September, and International Day to Protect Education from Attack is observed on 9th September. Again, these two are somehow related with education, but again, different days. Important. First one is for Literacy Day, and second one is for International Day to Protect Education from Attack. These days are also important. Next comes the Himalaya Divas, is observed every year on 9th September. National Mission for Clean Ganga has organized Himalayan Rivers in association with No Law Foundation Himalaya Rivers 2021. What was its theme? Theme is to contribution of Himalayas and our responsibilities. Its aim is to conserve Himalayas ecosystem and region. It was officially declared as Himalaya Day in 2015 by the then. So you understood when the Himalaya Day was celebrated, first announced in the 2015. Then comes World Suicide Prevention Day. The World Suicide Prevention Day is celebrated on 10th September. It was first introduced in 2003. With this, we will conclude our today's session. Before we conclude, I would like to again remind you that SSB SureShot Academy provides you 14-day online SSB class, which will be taken by General Bhakuni sir, and all doubts will be cleared. Personality development online class is also conducted. An online class for various written exams like CDS, NDS, CAPF are also there. Special online courses for important subjects like maths, GS, which includes geography, polity, and history, reasoning are separately are also there for each subject. Apart from the online classes, SSB SureShot Academy provides 12-day SSB offline classes for which you will have to visit the campus, and offline CDS and NDA written classes. To get more, get your query done, you can contact these two numbers. And if you want to avail periodic discount on any course, download our application from Play Store. With this, we conclude our session. Thank you so much, all of you. We again will see you. All the best.